This YCN segment is brought to you by LaValley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
This exciting rivalry football matchup was played on a Saturday afternoon at A.G. Pendo Memorial Field at Spaulding High School in Barre, Vermont. The game began in the host's favor after the Crimson Tide's defense forced a fumble and recovered midfield. Spaulding used an air and ground attack to move the ball. Eventually, senior running back Corey John ran for the 1-yard score, putting his team ahead by 7. It didn't take long for U-32 to answer, though, after the Raiders' offense marched down the field and scored 6 with a 1-yard touchdown run from senior running back Martin McMahon. The 2-point attempt failed, so after one quarter, Spaulding held a 1-point lead. To begin the second, Spaulding senior Sam Bigglestone picked off U-32's quarterback Nathan LaRosa. So the Crimson Tide took over on their own 2-yard line. This spelled trouble for the host as the Raiders' defense blitzed and forced a fumble, which resulted in a safety as the ball went out of the end zone. U-32 went up 8-7. The Raiders then received the punt, and soon senior back Andrew Proto ran in for a 10-yard touchdown. With about 6 minutes left before halftime, the hosts managed to march down the field using multiple completions from quarterback Jackson Pearson to receiver Bigglestone. Pearson soon ran in a 1-yard keeper to make the score 13-16 at the break. Coming out of halftime, Spaulding quickly scored again, which gave them a 5-point lead. This time, senior back Casey Payette ran in the touchdown off a 5-yard screen pass from Pearson. Heading into the fourth quarter, this was the moment U-32 began to take control, after they were able to score 4 unanswered touchdowns. 3 of the 4 final TDs were run in by Andrew Proto, who had a monster night, including a 40-plus yard touchdown run. By the time the game was over, U-32 ended up pulling out an easy win with a final score of 44-21. U-32's Proto ran for more than 100 yards and picked up 4 touchdowns on the ground. After the game, we spoke with Raiders head coach Brian DeVelblis, as well as a few of his key players to get their takes on the win.
I was talking about with a couple people during halftime, we talked about limiting our errors. It's a game, where 2 teams are very competitive. They have similar talent, similar styles of play. You need to limit your errors. And it comes down to who makes really the least amount. Really, it comes down to that. And I think that in the second half, we focused on simpling our game plan, simple down things a little bit, and help limit our mistakes and our errors. The offensive line did an outstanding job, and I say that because Andrew Proto, running back, I think it was 4 touchdowns, and they had an interception on defense, but just rushing the ball. This is the best game I've seen him run tonight. He was taking contact in and was getting extra yards. The ball security was tough for both teams tonight. I don't know if it's due on the grass or what, but I know when we fumbled the ball, and we talked about limiting our mistakes, then you come out second half and you're fumbling. And then, on defense, we're always talking about making a sudden change. And what can we do in the game defensively to impact and help our offense get back on the field? And it just happened out. It worked out for us. We turned the ball over offensively. It's a team game. Our defense stepped up. Ball was on the ground. We picked it up, and then we knew we had to execute on that mistake to stay in this ball game. They have great kids. Their players and our players are all friends. So it's a great rivalry, I think, for the community, because it's Spaulding and us in Central Vermont that have football. So we love having the closeness of the game, not just between the coaches and the players, but also the competitive level. We're very similar, I believe, as far as not just styles, but in a competitive nature. It's good for the community. We love coming over here. They come to our place. Sweeter, I guess. We appreciate everyone we can get. And we're going to look forward to playing Otter Valley at our homecoming next week.
I think my line was great. They stayed very disciplined, and our running back, Andrew Proto, breaking through a bunch of tackles on that really long touchdown run. That was just amazing for us. We call him Skittles Logan Wedge. He's just consistent, 3-4 yards of play. He makes men miss behind the line of scrimmage, and he's just a great player. We got friend Michael Bove playing wide receiver, standing in the end zone, and everybody out here had a great game tonight. It all came together really well. And this was a really important one. We got smacked up against Burton last week. And for us to come back out here, be disciplined, and really work hard was great for us. I think we're bouncing back pretty well from that one.
Well, I'd say that one of the most important ingredients to us winning was losing so badly last week to Burton. At practice, everybody was a lot more focused this week because they knew that we were going to have to put in some work to come back after something like that. And after a week of focused practice, I think the guys were just a lot more confident. I think it all comes down to the fact that we've just made a couple less errors than they did, mental errors, but we both played a really physical, just good game, I'd say, of football. I'd say it's definitely, especially on their homecoming, it was a big deal for everybody, keeping the winning streak that we have against Spaulding alive. The guys were very excited about this game.
I really believe that we got to work in the second half. We really put our minds to it. We made a few errors, but everyone does. I think that's what came down to the win. I thought Logan Wedge did a really good job. Andrew Proto, great job. He got a few touchdowns. Our line did a really good job. Again, made a few errors, but we got that done.
U-32 improves to 2-1 while Spaulding falls to 1-2. The Crimson Tide will next travel to take on North Country while U-32 next hosts Otter Valley.
Right on!